Hacker Beyond Virtual Boundaries. Calvin Hackerson is a young American programmer in the year 2074. He hails from a family of considerable wealth, receiving the best education from his early years. Since childhood, his parents immersed him in an extensive educational system, providing him with knowledge not only in basic subjects but also in economics, management, languages, and ultimately, information technology. Calvin grew up immersed in programming and became a powerful hacker, mastering various systems and working for multiple companies. He achieved great professional success and quickly stood out in the market by providing services in programming and artificial intelligence. By 2074, major companies in the sector were increasingly investing in information security, advanced technologies, programs, applications, and all the progress towards the cybernetic industry, creating the modernity necessary to make the lives of their inhabitants easier and safer. While Calvin excelled in his educational and professional life, even at a young age, he began to notice a distancing from his family as he came of age. His parents divorced, and as an only child, he lost contact and harmony within his family. Calvin ended up leaving home and living alone, working for a large technology company that kept him employed for many years. He no longer even had dialogue with his father, who always prioritized his professional life, creating an increasing distance between himself, his son, and his wife, leading to an environment devoid of harmony or fraternal bonds. The distance grew, and eventually, each went their separate way, leaving their family destroyed. Without contact, Calvin sought to further develop himself in his job and aim for a better position, seeing that his role was bringing significant returns and profits to the company he worked for. He sought to develop a revolutionary program for total data security, where each person would no longer be identified by name or have data such as documents or addresses. Each inhabitant would now have a secret code, generated from various bodily data points such as blood type, iris, voice, and digital hand authentication. All these features combined into a single identification encapsulated in a powerful application designed to be used on machines scattered throughout urban centers and virtual environments. Now, each human being would have an ultra-secret code that both identified and protected them, preventing others from knowing their true data to authenticate any services they might need, such as transactions in the market, purchases, or various other services. All information was generated through the applications with readings via holographic images, revolutionizing and changing the daily lives of every inhabitant, making their functions much more practical. After Calvin embarked on living his life alone, he still remembered his parents. His mother had disappeared into another relationship and showed no signs of returning. His father had always been a stranger, devoid of affection, resulting in a cold and distant relationship. Calvin grew up knowing only that his father worked hard in a large company and, when he came home, he distanced himself, leaving the family sidelined. He never saw him again anywhere. Thus, his life boiled down to focusing on studies and becoming a great programmer, working to become a significant figure in security and application development. This recent creation by Calvin resulted in delicate and painstaking programming, making him eager for a promotion within the company. Unfortunately, his company did not view Calvin's efforts with the same eyes. His efforts in creating the revolutionary program were adopted but also implemented with some additional features by a new group of hackers who further developed it and stole his idea, using his programming and ultimately gaining fame with the company director, who rewarded this group with a significant promotion, leaving Calvin out of the project. Calvin was outraged and left the company, never to see anyone again. He was bitter and felt unjustly treated for days. He refused to even look at a line of code again. He began to hate more and more as he passed through city centers and saw people using machines and applications that undoubtedly used his programming to improve their lives. He realized he had been betrayed. His idea had been stolen. His creation and years of study and programming had been used. In an act of rebellion, Calvin began to use his programming knowledge and became a negative hacker. He started entering the systems of various companies that were part of the conglomerate of the company he had left and began altering their functions, damaging the lines of code, and even causing significant commercial and financial losses. One of these major partners that used his programming was Virtual Trip, a company with advanced technology that sold virtual trips, utilizing artificial intelligence where anyone could experience paradisiacal environments, adventure, and fully realistic urban settings, just like a real city. Those who purchased these virtual travel packages could enjoy a fictitious life in a world of futuristic technology, shopping, watching movies, attending parties, and doing whatever they pleased in this cybernetic environment. Those who enjoyed these virtual trips would be in a machine connected to basic health functions, allowing them to stay for many days without being disturbed or discovered because, as the programming was created, it did not identify who was using these services. After Calvin caused significant losses to the company that stole his programming, many of its partners went bankrupt, suffering huge losses. Calvin remained totally secure. With his vast programming experience, the company couldn't discover who was causing all these problems. Finally, at one point, Calvin noticed that the police were looking for hackers who had possibly harmed all these companies. He saw the movement and decided to spend some time using the virtual trips from the company that, in a way, had also harmed him, Virtual Trip. Afraid of being discovered, he knew that it was a relatively safe place. Nobody would bother him, and at the same time, his data would not be accessible. He would be immune to investigations, and the police could not discover his name and identity because the machine's programming concealed everyone's real appearance. Identification was only possible through a secret code. Calvin chose to travel to an urban center where he would live days of fun, participate in events, go to bars, and even earn credits by playing in game houses and placing bets. He could execute the plan that was in his head, entering a virtual world and tampering with the programming. He just had to reach the right place in the system and change some command prompts. He was a security expert hacker. He would know which paths to follow to achieve his goal. And after much fun, he finally found the heart of the system in this world of artificial intelligence. Now he wanted to return to the real world, but only after making a lot of money and credits in his account. He found a bank in this environment, where he only needed to enter the computer now and change commands that would benefit him in some way. When Calvin finally entered the system and hacked it, an image appeared over the environment. Blocked, with a distressing message. So it was you who caused all these problems to our company. I had already discovered that it was you and that you could come here. You were not promoted because this company would already be yours in the future. Calvin, the fact that no one is discovered yet identified by a code was an old project of mine. My company was the result of this, and that's why no one could know what my role was, not even my family. That's why you never received the attention you deserved from your childhood. Now you will be trapped in this digital world forever. You are blocked by your greed until your end. I am the owner of Virtual Trip, and you would be my heir, but you ruined everything. We bid farewell here, son. Goodbye.
Superfixer is a sci-fi short story channel serving as the catalyst for concepts about technology, science, the universe, and science fiction.